Stathopoulos and Josh Phegan come together in an incredible podcast, Grow, Scale, Master.
An energetic approach to drive progress, master skills, build strengths and put the strategy back into rapid business and personal success.
Backed by real-world experience in rapid scaling to playing the long-term game of business, it's the story of all the lessons learned on the journey to mastery.
Be inspired, renew your energy and chase the future with Grow, Scale, Master.
Con, if there is one unique skill that I think that, your business has really done well, it's about that ability to be able to build teams.
Yep.
And to help the people that are within those teams to actually emerge to become great agents who don't even necessarily need to leave the team, but can allow the team to do more production. And also, in addition to that, have the ability to really help people to substantially grow.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about it. Like, what does an agent need to do to change their mindset from a sales associate to actually building a co-agent? And what are the downsides or what are the upsides or the benefits about actually growing a proper co-agent in your team who can prospect, list and sell, rather than having full control where you have to do all of those components?
The team will always outperform the individual. And we've got 27 EBUs in our business.
Yeah.
And that's been on purpose. And the simple fact is that you can't do everything. And you're normally a master of one or two things. You're a master of listing or a master of negotiating, and then you need someone that's going to be, turning the wheels, so to speak, to be able to keep the production coming in. The importance of, growing great co-agents, first of all, it enables the agent, the lead agent, to be able to focus on their core territory whilst also developing a feeder market. So if I look at Amit Nayak and Danny Lee, for example, so Amit is Wentworthville and Westmead, that's his core market, and then they've got feeder suburbs, Pendle Hill, Girraween, Constitution Hill, etc. So those buyers are moving from those suburbs into Westmead and Wentworthville, and we're missing out on market share. So our goal was to develop Danny to becoming a listing and selling agent in his own right over the last couple of years, which he's out on his own at the moment with under Team Nayak, so still under Team, and leveraging all of the resources that Team Nayak has, which is, sales support and marketing and market share and all the other things. Amit by himself as well, coming out and helping him with a listing appointment or a vendor. So why is it so important? Because if you can build your team out, then you're going to be able to enable the ability to gain more market share, more market presence, which then feeds the other pot. So you're actually not taking anything away. You're actually just building something else. So think of an agent as a hunter, and then you've got a farmer. The hunt is list and sell. The farming is nurturing. So by building out the co-agent, you're actually nurturing someone that can feed that first business, if that makes sense. And then you've got two business streams. So you don't have to focus on just one area.
I think the big thing for me is that you get more time off. You've got someone else that can list. You can choose to specialisation of area, price point, types of properties. You can be in a position that now naturally you can share the wins. It's less lonely in business. You've got more leverage. You've got more capacity. You've got more momentum. It's much better to be in a business that's winning every couple of days rather than once a month.
Well said, mate.
And I think that ultimately the ability to be able to bring in specialised talent for specifics.
Yeah, strata versus houses. Yeah, absolutely.
Regional, farmland stuff versus city.
Yeah, completely agree.
So how do you grow great operational team members? Now, a lot of people talk about admin, PA, EA, I'm from Josh Phegan's office, like all of that sort of stuff. But I'm a big one for we're talking ops.
Yeah.
And if you got to have a look at the great teams that really push through a tremendous amount of volume and provide exceptional customer experience, they are beyond the whole conversation. I think you guys call them CSMs. They are in a position that they go operations.
Yeah.
How do you grow someone great operationally inside of an agent's team?
You got to find the talent first. Skill and will, right? Skill you can teach, will you can't. So we look for the will, that's the main thing, and then the skill we can overlay. A. B. You got to have the rules of engagement documented and ready to go. So what is it that Team Nayak do on every single day basis? We use your blueprint, right? We've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This is who I'm calling. This is what they do. This is what every team members. So you actually have to invest in the front end before you can start taking out of the back end. Roles, clear responsibilities, clear KPIs. Hey, this is what happens when we sell a property and it settles. This is the settlement process and this is our gift and this is how we actually wrap it all up and make it nice for the client. if you can't have that documented, then it's really impossible to have a great operational person in your business, because then they're going to be kind of trying to chase their tail or kind of replicate what you're trying to tell them every single day.
How many times does an operational person like get upset or agitated though at seeing a salesperson who is not necessarily playing by the rules, a little bit lazy, but yet they know is earning more in income than they are?
Look, we haven't experienced that in our business, because our ops people that work in teams, they're working in, Team Nyack does 220 sales per annum, and Team Holdings is, 200 sales, etc. So they don't have time to see, that they're not working. I think that's a communication thing and the expectations.
It's also a values thing too,
yeah,
right?
It is. But also, like, if we haven't set the rules of engagement when we first meet, Josh, like, hey, look, I need you to do my dry cleaning, drop my kids off and get my lunch every day, versus, hey, this is how I want my e-newsletter to go out. This is kind of the copy that we use. Here's where we get our photography. Here's the studio. This is what I need you to come up with content. So I think it's all about relationships. So we have a monthly boardroom with all of our teams. We sit down with everyone in that team. We work out what worked, what didn't, celebrate the wins. We look at what we could have done better. And then more importantly, we've got a parking lot there of any issues, which might be operational. And that's when everyone's got a voice. So that's how we operate it. But I think you're right. I think it's all about, respect and, mutual, I guess, communication around what each person's role is in the business.
And, the reality of it is that like in some of these teams, and particularly some of the high-performing salespeople, they are very unique individuals.
Yes.
In that, some of their greatest advantages also produce some pretty substantial downfalls.
Yep.
Dyslexia and lack of documentation and not dotting I's and not crossing T's. And that becomes really frustrating because it then slows the workflow.
Correct.
And a great example is all of a sudden you drag and drop a ton of work on your operations team at 4:30 p.m. on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
When you could have easily given it to them on Wednesday or Thursday, but you weren't thinking, you weren't planning, and now all of a sudden you're actually causing workflow issues.
Yep.
So how important here is the role of systems? Because like a lot of people think the CRM is a system, and I go back to the foundational, forms, checklists, visuals, dialogue. How important is it to get systems in play and to make sure that people in the actual team operate using the systems?
You can't operate a team without systems, Josh.
So as an example of a system, I'm about to go out. I've just been able to pick up a listing presentation opportunity.
Yep.
I'm going to take you, Con, my senior agent.
Yep.
The expectation is that you would have filled out the pre-listing or the market appraisal form, which captures all the essential detail. Who are we going to see?
Correct.
Tell me about the property, any improvements to it, what are the issues, what's the situation that we're heading into,
Yep.
what do I need to be aware of, what recent sales have actually happened, what's happening in terms of buyer demand in that particular price point, what does this owner need to see, feel or experience in the next 25 minutes to have the confidence to use us. But yet, for some reason, we can get too good for filling out the form, and when new people come to join the team, they see the best agent doesn't fill in the form.
So they don't.
So why? So is that important to make sure that if you are the best in the business, that you are running the essential systems that prevent rework and prevent error from occurring, so that you maximize and maintain customer experience?
Absolutely, mate. So, what got you there won't get you to that next level if you're not dotting your I's and crossing your T's. But I think it's all about making sure that you have this documented first. So a lot of people don't know where to start. So I remember when Amit and Ritesh came into the business, they were working 7 days a week. They had no associates. They were doing basically everything.
Yeah.
And we worked out very quickly, what do you love doing?
Yeah.
What do you hate doing?
Yeah.
Let's outsource everything that you hate doing.
Yes.
That's taking up time. And then let's make sure that we can focus on the dollar productive tasks. And we started building that out. And then we obviously, connected with you and we made sure that we had a manual that we could actually build in, and they could customize it to their market and to their clients. But if you don't do the basics every single day, then it's a production line, Josh. Something's going to fail. Maybe not today, but maybe in 30 or 60 days it will.
What, therefore, is the importance of meeting rhythms?
Critical. So we use your blueprint. So you're asking me loaded questions. I don't know why you do it.
but I go an alternate way.
Mate,
People go, I hate going to meetings.
No, it's not.
Meetings are no good. They're disruptive.
Meetings suck. Get the book, right?
Yeah, right. Okay.
So meetings are so important. So daily hub, right? So
Daily cuddle?
Daily hub.
Oh, huddle. Okay, got it. Yeah.
Daily huddle.
Right.
So set an agenda, have it documented. Everyone knows what time it starts. Everyone knows the rules of that game. So i.e. it's got to be in the office, or it's okay to be on a call or a Zoom or whatever it might be. You go through the agenda and it's very, very clear about what we've got to achieve today, right? So you've got daily meetings, you've got weekly meetings, you've got monthly meetings, bi-monthly meetings, you've got half-year meetings, and then you've got annual business plan meetings, right? Everything's already in the calendar and the agenda's already built out for you. So you can't muck it up.
The interesting thing is that like the more that you meet on something, the faster you pulse. And Con, tell me if I'm too much, but I go Monday, daily directions, and it includes the buyer meeting. Who are the best buyers we've met over the last 7 days? Who's on the buy hit list? You know, that sort of conversation. Tuesdays, our daily agenda. And also in addition to that, we go through our potential sellers, hot sellers, market appraisals, review that and work out who's really next in our pipeline. And then Wednesdays, we then get ourselves in a position we say, okay, cool, now we're going to go and review all of our current listings and see what we've got to do to get the campaigns in alignment. And in every business, you're going to need to have a Thursday meeting and Friday meeting, and then you're going to need to have a sales meeting at some point. And the contextual conversation around sales meetings is, you know, what do these people need to know? And then ultimately, if we've just sold a property, the next question to me is not like, oh, congratulations, well done. The next question to me is, and Con, how many leftover buyers are there? And what could we go and sell them?
Yeah.
And how does that compare to our current listings, other listings across the broader McGrath group, listings that are currently in market with competitors, but also to previous appraisals that we've done that maybe we should call today to say, hey, by the way, I've got a buy for your place. Could I show them through? And obviously all the legal stuff's got to happen. But I don't think that people are doing it. I think they treat that with disdain and they're like, oh, that's too rigid or that's not for me. But I'm like, if you're going to run a business at pace, those meetings need to be at pace and you need to be prepared before you get into the meeting. And this whipping you into organisation is the difference between you writing a couple of $100,000 in fees and writing a couple of $1 million in fees.
Yeah, the biggest things that I see, a breakdown of teams and the culture around that team is communication. So if we've got our daily directions meeting and we've got a weekly meeting and we've got everything in place where people have a voice, then the communication can't ever kind of die, if that makes sense.
So what do you feel is the attribute of a high performer then?
For them personally?
Or for the team?
For the team, I think it's very clear roles and responsibilities in swim lanes about who does what, when, and how, and why. I think there is a mutual goal and a vision that they've set for everyone to basically be following. I think there is a career advancement plan for each person in that team, so people know what they get out of this and where they can actually end up as well. It's really clear, and that could involve remuneration and commissions and experiences and whatnot. And I think more importantly, there's the respect that everyone plays a significant partner role in the success of that team. And I think the more communication that you have, I'm just a big believer that frequency builds a lot of trust. And the more that I can connect with you, the more that I can talk to you about what we're doing and how we're doing and why we're doing it, the better off that we're going to be.
Experiences that rapidly shaped you.
Con, I got to tell you that I've got almost someone who plays a psychologist role, and it's actually my dry cleaner, Julie.
Okay.
This is fascinating.
All right.
So for years, I would walk from the car park on the way to the office in Double Bay, and I would drop my dry cleaning in, and I would pick my dry cleaning up. And one day, I was walking past, and I didn't have to do any of that, but she called me in. I was like, oh, hey, Julie. She's like, oh, are you okay? I said, yeah, I'm fine. She goes, oh, no one's died or anything? I'm like, no. She goes, nothing bad's going on in your life? I'm like, no. She goes, okay. She goes, I've just noticed the last few days, every single time you walk past the dry cleaner, it looks like you're ready to kill someone. Like that's something that's seriously gone wrong in your life. I was like, right. She goes, you're actually deterring customers. When you walk past the dry cleaner from this point in, can you just smile? And I was like, yeah.
Wow.
And I've never forgotten that. Because there's so many moments where I go, smile, and I said, all it was is that I was busy and there's a lot of things going on and I was thinking a lot in my head, but I was thinking through a complex problem, but I wasn't in a position that I was actually showing the emotions of the day. And it's so phenomenal because, and I'd say, how amazing is this? I'm proud to say that we've had that relationship for nearly 20 years.
Wow.
And the amazing thing is that literally we talk about all sorts of stuff, and often on a Saturday morning when I go and pick up some stuff, we have a great chat for 5 or 10 minutes and whatever. And and how's that going and what's happening with this and her level of activity and care. And the interesting thing is she moved a suburb away, so she's no longer in Double Bay, now she's in Rose Bay. But I've followed her there because she's that good at relationships and how she makes you feel.
I love that. You know what, Josh? I was thinking about this as well. So an experience that I've recently had is I went and got fish and chips up on the Central Coast.
Oh, yeah?
Right? And you'd expect, you put your order in, you want some fish, you want some chips, etc. You know how easy it is to win a customer?
Yeah.
Just do the extras.
Yeah.
I got a potato scallop in there.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's pretty awesome. Why? And he goes, mate, every time, he goes, because you've never been here.
Yes.
And B, you've never had my scallops. And we call them potato cakes. I'm from Melbourne, right?
Same, yeah.
Right. And he goes, mate, you should experience it. Guess what happened? You know, 2 days later, where were we again? We're at Pelicans in, Long Jetty, getting fish and chips again.
Yeah.
What are the extras that we're missing out on that we could do for someone? Is it a smile? Is it just dropping off, something that they didn't expect? What is it? It's pretty simple.
Something that's changing your view.
Colin, this story's been around for a little while, but when I first heard it, it kind of changed my view on things. Michelin Star rated restaurants, some of the best restaurants in the world.
Yeah.
And if you go to the foundational reason why that happened,
it
was Michelin, the tyre company, right?
Yeah.
And they were trying to get people to use their cars more.
So they could wear their tyres out.
So then they could go and get more tyres.
That's
I'm like,
right.
sometimes it's the smallest things that's a completely different strategy that lands you a really good quality outcome.
Yep, agreed.